So today I will discuss about different methods of health education, their applicability or uses, as well as their advantage and disadvantages. So before going to start these methods of health education, you should have a clear idea about what health education mean. What is health education? What happen you see in the classes or at the time of interview, when I ask the students what is health education, what they do, they give some examples, but it is not like that. Example is okay, but you must have a clear idea about what a health education is. Swasthya শিক্ষা কাকে বলে? So health education is a process by which we try to change the health behavior of the community, of the group or individuals which are not acceptable, which are not desirable, which we do not want, which are not conducive for health. Now it is clear? Simply, health education is a process by which we want to change the what? Change the health behavior of the individuals or group or community which we do not want, which are undesirable, which are not healthy. That type of behavior we like to change through a process that is called health education. Can anybody repeat? Only one sentence? If not, again I will repeat. Health education is a process by which we want to change the health behavior which are not acceptable, which are not healthy, which are not conducive, which we do not want, which are undesirable or what we do not desire. That is health education. Fine. Now the question comes, if we want to change the unhealthy behavior, we must adopt some techniques, we must adopt some methods through which we can change the health behavior. Health education is a concept, but there are various methods that we can apply while changing the unhealthy behavior of the individuals or group or community, whatever may be. Okay, that is health education. Now I start different methods of health education, their uses, their applicability, as well as their advantage and disadvantage. So when we think about the methods, 5 things you should keep in your mind. What is the method? What a particular method is, number 1. Number 2, in what situations, what method we will use. Number 3, what or who are the persons involved in this process. Number 4, what about their patterns of communications. And last one, advantage and disadvantage. So 5 points you should keep in your mind while describing a method or while writing a method. In exam, simply it may come, write one method. Say for example, panel discussions is a method. Okay. So in exams it will come or it may come panel discussions, or sometimes it may come panel discussions with advantage and disadvantage. So you have to write these 5 points also. Okay. Before going to discuss again method, you must have a clear idea what a method is. What is a method? Methods of health education are the techniques or ways in which a series of activities are carried out to communicate ideas, informations and develop necessary attitudes and skills for what? For changing the unhealthy behavior or changing the health behavior which are not good, which are not conducive, which are not healthy. Okay. That means methods means a technique by which we can adapt or we can carry out a series of activities. What for? To change the behavior. How? By communicating new ideas, new informations, at the same time developing necessary skills for which they can be able to change the unhealthy behavior. Now, We can classify the different methods according to the approach, according to the feedback. Okay? According to the approach, we can classify methods into three ways. One is individual approach. What is that? Individual approach means when we approach a single individual for changing his or her unhealthy health behavior. That is individual approach. When we approach a group, small group, like left side or right side, small group, okay, to change the unhealthy behavior, that is group approach. And when we approach a large mass, heterogeneous, homogeneous, whatever may be, mainly heterogeneous mass to change their health behavior. Okay. So examples of individual approach, usually there are different ways also, methods. One is interview, one-to-one situations, interview face-to-face, that is, and at the same time counseling. This method involves a group of, next one is group method, group approach. This method involves a group of limited persons in a teaching learning situation like this who have some kind of health education needs about health problems. That is group methods. This small group can also get some opportunity to ask questions and share ideas, informations and experiences. Okay, examples, demonstrations, panel discussions, group discussions, role playing, colloquy, etc., etc. So this is group methods. I will try to discuss each and every method one by one, if time permits, otherwise I will take another session. Okay, and last one is mass method. This method is especially meant for a large number of heterogeneous peoples. Perhaps you have idea about the homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous means what and heterogeneous means what? Homogeneous means the characteristics of the group of populations are same or similar, and heterogeneous different culture, different socioeconomic backgrounds, different educational backgrounds. Okay, they may differ according to their age. That is heterogeneous. So when we adopt mass methods, it is applicable for maybe homogeneous or mainly heterogeneous large number of people with an intention to change their health behavior, but simply it is not always possible to change the attitude or to avoid them about unhealthy behavior, so that in the next stage they can be able to change their unhealthy behavior. Okay, this is lecture or speech and exhibitions. Okay, so that is the approach or methods, individual methods, group methods, and last one is loudly, mass methods. Okay, and again on the basis of feedback, we can classify the method into two: one way or didactic, two way or Socratic. Feedback means what? Feedback means on the basis of the feedback. Feedback means response from the learner. Like you are the learners. Or when we apply these methods in a community situations, we call that audience. When we get feedback, when we get response from the audience or from the learner, we call it two-way process. Now, again, a little bit analytical and critical ways we can classify these methods into three: individual, group and mass. Examples of individual methods: interview and counselings. Examples of group methods: demonstrations. Perhaps you know what is demonstrations, I will discuss. Next one is panel discussions. Number of methods are there. For examples I am telling. Colloquy, perhaps you may not heard the name of that method. Role playing, symposium, seminar, workshop, batch sessions, brainstorming, group discussions, study trip, etc. And about the mass methods, what I am doing now, I am delivering what? I am delivering speech or lecture. In classroom situations, usually we do not tell speech. In classroom situations, not only classroom, in any formal situation, we call it lecture. But in informal situations, in the communities, we call it speech. Then exhibitions, health campaigns. So these are the mass education methods or mass health education methods or mass communication methods, all the same. Clear? Okay, now I will try to discuss one by one with their advantage along with the limitation. Okay. First one is speech. What I am delivering now, that is called speech or lecture. It is a carefully prepared oral presentations by an expert in the presence of the learners about the concerning topics. Speech is a carefully prepared oral presentations by an expert in the presence of the learner about a particular topics relevant to the audience. The topics must be relevant to the learner or the audience. That is speech. The lecturer or speaker can prepare the talk in a logical fashion. So I have prepared it. Okay. How I can disseminate my message or information, or in other words, you can say how I can deliver my lecture or speech, that I have prepared already before coming here. Next point is when it should be used. First thing, when we think that learners are empty vessels. What is the meaning of empty vessel? Vessel means you know, empty means you know. আপনারা দেখেছো কলসি দেখেছো, মাটির কলসি বা পিতলের কলসি, আমরা যখন বাজাবো তখন আওয়াজ হবে, empty vessels, ঠং ঠং আওয়াজ হবে. When we adopt this type of method, when we think that the learners do not have any knowledge, on the basis of that you can interact. That means you are the empty vessels. During that situations, we can use lecture or speech as a method of education for aware the learners. It should be used when the objective is to enhance the knowledge. When we think that yes, speech will be applicable, that means the objective is to enhance the knowledge. You do not have any knowledge, I am pouring knowledge to the vessels. Okay. Again, it should be used in the forenoon when the learners are full of energy. তোমাদের যখন এনার্জি ফুল থাকবে কখন থাকে? ফোরনুন, আফটারনুন কি হবে? In the afternoon usually we take lunch, then come to the class, that is afternoon, so become sleepy, attention may not be there. For the reason, whenever we deliver the lectures, usually we take the class in the morning, you see, that's why the class is morning. But during afternoon, usually what type of class we should organize? Discussion sessions, practicals. So usually it should be organized in the afternoon sessions or work activity. Personally involved, how many persons or how many groups of persons or how many categories of persons are used during this session. Which session? Speech or lecture. Usually in the lectures, simply a speaker may be there, but in case of outside organizations, this is the inside, that's why I am here alone. But in case of outside, usually one chairperson must be there and one speaker must be there. But in case of speech, when you deliver speech, the community, maybe more than one speaker may be there. Okay. If there are large number of speakers, then we should not call it a lecture. So what is that? I will discuss. What is that? When a series of speeches will be delivered by a number of speakers along with one chairperson, that is called symposium. I will discuss, not speech. So in speech, one chairperson, one speaker, maybe one or two speaker, and you are the learner, or you can say you are the audience. In case of community, we use this terminology. In case of community, we use the terminology audience. In case of classroom situations or formal situations, we call it learner. Okay. So who can act as a chairperson? There are some special characteristics of a chairperson. Number one, the chairperson must be knowledgeable, must be skillful. He should have the capacity to manage the situations. That is the role of the chairman. Okay. If the speakers fail to cover an important line, means the important points, then later on, when the speech will be over or the lecture will be over, when summing up, at the time of summing up, the chairpersons will rectify that one or add that one or supplement that one. That is the role of chairpersons. And next one is lecturer or speaker. Again, the speaker must be a knowledgeable person. He must have the capacity to finish or to complete the whole topics within the time limit. What is meant for this speech or session, maybe 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes, not more than that. By using simple, lucid words, using simple language so that the audience can understand or audience can comprehend, then only my speech or lecture will be fruitful. আমি যা বলবো তোমরা যদি বুঝতেই না পারো, so that is not fruitful. So I have the capacity to use very simple language, even simple verbatim, so that the learners or the audience can understand. Usually we divide the whole speech into different ways. Number one, I will tell the topics. Dear friends, like speech, dear friends, I will discuss these topics. Then, why it is important? I will take 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. In near future or in future, you have to use this everything. Okay. To use simple language, lucid words. Okay. Then, main topics. So within 2 to 3 minutes, we will give the introductions. Then for 30 minutes, there is no hard and fast rule, but 30 or 40 minutes for main discussions, the topics. Then 5 minutes or sometimes 10 minutes, we should keep for open discussions. Is it clear? So 2 to 3 minutes, then 30 to 40 minutes. So kitna ho gaya? 3 plus 40, 43. Then 7 minutes or 5 minutes will be there for question answer sessions. Then only lecture will be fruitful. Patterns of communication. See, this is a one way communications. Communication from dais, this is called dais, this is called floor. So communications will be from dais to floor. And one thing you can remember, usually what happen in case of lecture, once the lecture will over, usually we give times to the audience or learner for open discussions. When we will convert this lecture to the open discussions, this is called lecture forum. F-O-R-U-M. That is the important word. Forum. Forum means open discussions. When it will be converted, speech or lecture will be converted to forum, this is called speech forum or lecture forum. During these forums, the learners or the audience will get the opportunity to ask questions for their clarifications. That means when you are asking questions to me or the lecturer or the speaker, I will have the opportunity to get feedback from you whether you have understood or not. So this is called lecture forum or speech forum. Now advantage and disadvantage. Advantage. One speaker can teach a good number of learners for enhancing knowledge, maybe 150, maybe 200, depends upon the situations at a time or within a limited period of time. I can be able to enhance the knowledge of large number of people. No audiovisual aids is compulsory. I am using this one. Why? Because if I use this audiovisual aids, it will be more interesting. You may pay attention. How many sensory organs are involved here? Can you tell me? When I have discussed about the communications, I told you. If I use audiovisual aids, how many sensory organs are involved? Automatically, minimum 2. One is ear, another is eye. So, communications will be more and more effective. For that reasons, we are using these audiovisual aids. But in case of lecture or speech, this is not compulsory. That is not that much expensive, because at a time I can have a large number of audience, maybe 200, 300, 400, 500 also. So, it is not that much expensive. Message, what I am percolating to you, what I am disseminating to you, it may be disseminated in systematic way, because I have prepared my speech, how I will deliver lectures, what points I will discuss, because this is formal one. Okay, I have prepared. This is the advantage, and disadvantage may not fulfill the needs of the audience. If the speaker is not that much sensitive, if I do not have any knowledge about yourselves, about your background, then what I know, what I feel, I will discuss without considering your need. That means it is not learner-centered. Nowadays means since the last 10 to 15 years, we are thinking about how this teaching learning process can be converted to learner-centered, not this teacher-centered, just reverse. So, it is not at all learner-centered, because you see what I have prepared I am telling, is it so? Very many times it may happen, but if the speaker is too much sensitive about the needs of the audience, about the needs of the learner, then I will think what is your need, on the basis of that I can disseminate my information to fulfill your needs. So, that is about speech or lecture. Next one is exhibitions. I am discussing about the mass methods first, because you see why I am discussing mass method, not individuals, not group. I am starting from mass method, because the objective of the mass method is to aware, to sensitize the audience or the learner, because large number of people will be there. It is not possible for the learner or speaker to engage all the audience or the learners. For the reasons, if we want to change the health behavior of the people, first we have to aware the people, to sensitize the people. Then question comes about group, then question comes about individuals. Specifically, if we organize individual methods, in case of sensitive cases, in case of complicated cases, we use these individual methods, that is interview and counselings. It is expensive, it is difficult always to organize. Okay, so for that reason I have started your method from these mass methods. Okay, lecture I finished or speech I finished, this is exhibitions. So this is not new to you. Everybody heard the word exhibitions. Exhibitions means simply when we arrange the exhibits in a logical and systematic way, that is called exhibitions. Okay. Now introduction part, mass education methods. It is a mass education method. That means during exhibitions, we can aware a large number of people, large number of audience. We display the exhibits in a large room. So this audience are coming, watching, observing, paying attention to the exhibits, and they can go away. So automatically large people we can aware at a time, the mass education methods. Next, combination of different methods and materials. Perhaps you have the idea about the exhibitions. What happens in the exhibitions? So many types of exhibits are displayed. Okay. At the same time, we use different methods, sometimes small group discussion, sometimes colloquy session, sometimes video playing, everything, sometimes short video we are telecasting. So, combination of different methods and different materials, sometimes pamphlet, sometimes posters, even flashcards, everything. And next one, social and demographic factors can be addressed. What are the social factors? What are the demographic factors? Perhaps you have the idea a little bit about demographic factors, means birth rate, death rate, literacy rate, these are demographic factors. Okay, that can be addressed. With the help of the charts, we can show the birth rate, how the birth rate is being declined, how the death rate is being declined through the charts. That is demographic. And social factors means social determinants. Perhaps you have the idea a little bit. Social determinants, say for example, we want to, what I should say, we want to improve the educational status of the women. We want to empower the women. So this is social determinants. So we can exhibit so many posters or short video film during exhibitions, that is social determinants can be addressed. And next one is, it is very much effective to change the health behavior, or specifically I can say to aware the people, because so many exhibits are displayed at the same time, different methods are also using simultaneously, automatically it will be more and more effective. Now, a definition is there. Exhibitions. Exhibition is the systematic and meaningful display of educational materials. What are the educational materials? Posters, leaflet, pamphlet, diorama, model, everything we display. So systematically we can displaying educational materials correlated around a basic theme, a subject, a topics will be there during exhibitions with an intention to educate a large number of people within a limited period of time in a particular place. That is called exhibition. That means when we display different types of methods and materials surrounding or around us specific topics with the intention or with the objective to aware a large number of people within a short period in a particular place, that is exhibitions. Now, if we want to organize exhibitions, health exhibitions, simple Shastha Mela, you have to organize Shastha Mela to aware the community people. So you have to know what is exhibitions, how we can organize the exhibitions, how we can plan to organize an exhibition. That is planning of exhibition. If we want to plan an exhibitions, what you have to do? Number one, you have to think when it will be organized. 7 W's we can consider. Number one, when it will be organized. কখন আমরা অর্গানাইজ করব। নাম্বার 2, where it will be organized, কোথায় অর্গানাইজ করব। নাম্বার 3, how means what methods and what materials we use. Third W, কি মেটেরিয়াল কি মেথড আমরা ইউজ করে প্ল্যান করতে হবে। নেক্সট, who will be the audience, for whom we are organizing exhibitions. Fourth W. 5, what will be the cost, how much cost will be involved. At the same time, what will be our source of the fund, from where we can get the cost of the fund. Fifth W. 6W, what should be the content. And last one, who will be our audience. So these 7 W's we have to keep in your mind while planning an exhibitions. Okay, is it clear? Once we plan, planning is over. What I told you, what methods and materials we will use. So what materials, how we will procure it. So first we have to think about the materials. What type of material we will use? Posters, charts, graphs, leaflet, pamphlet, models, specimen, video. Okay, we have to procure it. Next one, budget. Cost, how much cost will be involved, and what are the sources of this fund. কোত্থেকে টাকা পাবো, বাজেট তো চাই, একটা এক্সিবিশন করতে গেলে কিছু বাজেট তো চাই। নেক্সট, স্কিলস, trained and skilled personnel for demonstrating the exhibitions. It depends upon the area of the exhibitions. Within, say for example, demonstrators, 5 feet or 10 feet for one demonstrators, like this. So, how many demonstrators will be used, how many skillful persons will be used, it depends upon the area of the exhibitions. Next, production facilities, that means who will prepare these materials or from where we can procure the materials. Either you have to prepare yourselves, or you have to hire it, or you have to purchase it, or you have to procure it. Planning part is over. Okay, সমস্ত কিছু আমরা নিয়ে এসেছি, পেয়ে গেছি. Then what to do? Construction of a booth. That means that where we are going to organize the exhibition, we have to construct a booth. If we do not get this large room, okay, auditorium, we may not get it. So ফাঁকাতে আমাদের করতে হতে হবে, বাগানে করতে হতে পারে, গ্রাউন্ডে করতে হতে পারে. In that case, we have to prepare the exhibits, I mean fencing or the booth. So floor covering and fencing, cover the floor and arrange for fencings. Usually in an exhibitions, 2 doors will be there, one for entrance and another for exit. Okay. Ventilations, so many persons will be there at a time, it may be crowded, so automatically this is required, proper ventilations, usually proper ventilations. Okay. Then furniture, how many racks, how you can display, number of tables, chairs. Okay. Usually one table must be there before the exit door, where the audience can write their comments. Perhaps you have the idea to observe the exhibitions. Anybody else? Exhibition তোমরা গেছো কোনোদিন? কোন এক্সিবিশন দেখোনি? দেখবে দুটো দরজা থাকবে, একদিকে ঢোকাবে, একদিকে দেখার পর বার করবে. When you going out, before that there is a table with exercise books where you can write your comments. Booth construction হয়ে গেল, প্ল্যান হয়ে গেছে, এবার you have to organize the exhibitions. How to organize the exhibitions? Before that, first think about the procurement. Okay, যে মেটেরিয়াল আমি ইউজ করব সেগুলোকে প্রকিউর করতে হবে. Then selection of the materials for display. You have to select the materials that will be displayed. But usually what happen? Say for example, number of posters, okay, or exhibits. So you have to write the number according to the sequence. ধরো এখান থেকে আমি স্টার্ট করব, ওয়াল থেকে, খুঁজে তো পাবো না, গুচ্ছে আছে আমাদের, so many materials, উল্টো দিকে নাম্বার দিয়ে দিলাম 1 2 3 4 5 6 like this, এইভাবে ঘুরবে. Okay, so you have to write the number according to the sequence. Then select the materials for display, then arranging and display the exhibits with the number in a logical and sequential manner, but all materials must be at your eye level. Eye level means minimum niche নয়, টপে নয়. Say for example 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet maximum eye level এ exhibit display করতে হবে. Okay, usually that is the rule. Display the material at eye level. Provision of physical facilities of this lighting, table, chair, fan, racks, etc. And provision of interpreters. What do we call these demonstrators? Though exhibits are self-explanatory, but sometimes it may require to explain, to demonstrate the exhibition. Say for example, in many posters or leaflets, some symbols will be there. So people may not know the meaning of all symbols. For that reasons, to explain that, we usually deploy number of interpreter or demonstrator. What to do during exhibitions? What is our role? You are the organizers. What is your role during exhibitions? Well, reception of the audience. Demonstrator, forget about them. They will be there for interpretations. You will be in the front of the door. Always welcome the audience. Well, reception of the audience. Then arrangement of the volunteers who will guide, not interpreter, volunteers who will guide. এখানে যাবেন এইভাবে যাবেন। একজন কি করতে পারে, মিস করে গেল, একটু দেখলো তারপর ওখানে চলে গেল, এটা বাদ গেছে আপনার। So for that reasons volunteers must be deployed also. Then demonstrating and explaining the exhibits using, that is important, using local verbatim. You have gone to organize an exhibitions at Muluk village, say for example, Muluk. So what type of words they use, that you have to know. According to their culture, according to the language, according to the words that they use, you should try to use that type of words so that they will be impressed. They will be too much interested to go through each and every exhibitions. Explain the exhibit until the audience are satisfied. যতক্ষণ তারা satisfied না হচ্ছে ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত কিন্তু তোমাদেরকে explain, তোমাদেরকে means those who are the demonstrators. You have to follow it, whether the demonstrators are working their duties or not following. Okay. Involve sufficient number of demonstrators. Now, after exhibitions, what to do? There is a role of you people. You means the organizers. After the exhibitions, observe the reaction of the audience. You are there, whether the demonstrators are demonstrating or not. The demonstrators are demonstrating the exhibitions. What about their attitude of the audience? That means this is called face reading. We are reading the face. Whenever you are attending our class, we usually read your face, whether you are understanding or not. What you are doing, we always observe. That is called face reading. আমরা বলি হাড়ির একটা ভাত টিপলি কি বলে দেবো যে বুঝতে পেরেছে কিনা, সেরকম আমরা তাকালেই বুঝবো কে বুঝতে পারছে কে ব্ল্যাঙ্ক। ওকে, নেক্সট, অ্যানালাইজ দি রেকর্ড বুক that I told you to be kept on the table for the comments of the audience. Once exhibition is over, then dismantle the exhibits. Once exhibition will be over, and keep the materials in proper place for future use. বারবার তো সম্ভব নয়, তোমার কেউ দেবে না। Once you procure, you have to keep it in a good condition so that second time or third time same exhibits you can use in different areas. If possible, feasible or doable, organize or arrange an informal survey. To whom you will survey? The audience who have participated in your exhibitions, who have gone through your exhibits. Conduct informal survey for evaluating the effectiveness of the exhibitions. Okay. Fourth part is over, the last part. Advantage and disadvantage. This is one of the best way to reach the illiterate, because exhibits are displayed full of symbols. If the audience are illiterate, they can have the opportunity to visualize these pictures, then they can understand. Provide better learning through varieties of experiences. You are using video, so they can hear. You are displaying the materials, they can see. They are touching. You have kept some materials, then they can touch it. They can feel it. At the same times, I told you some things তারা খেতেও পারবে, টেস্ট করে দেখতে পারবে। যেমন ধরো আমরা অনেক কিছু রেখে দিই, যেমন ধরো লেন্টিল, মুসুর ডাল, মুগ ডাল, সোয়াবিন রেখে দিই আমরা। ওকে, different types of fruits. Okay. Opportunity may be provided for practical learning through demonstration, etc. Next one, it is interesting and attractive because of decorations, good setting, other lively displays. Okay. Colorful materials will be there in the exhibitions, so it will be very much interesting. So that Once they get interest, they will pay attention. Once they pay attention, they can learn. Once they can learn, automatically they can change their unhealthy behavior also. Help students to develop creativity, and also organizing exhibition can help to learn new knowledge and as well as skills. And last one, the pitfalls, limitations or disadvantages. Difficult to organize, definitely. Time will be required, money will be required, place will be required. So difficult to organize in terms of money, material and manpower. Difficult to organize to suit different kinds of people with different needs, different backgrounds, because I told you this is applicable for heterogeneous people. So different background থেকে যদি আসে সবার জন্য আলাদা আলাদা করে ডিসপ্লে করা সম্ভব নয় according to their need, that is difficult to get appropriate place and adjust to the available time due to lack of resources, unfavorable weather, etc. Because if there is no room, so what you have to do? You have to think about the field, okay, prepare the booth, so triple, everything. So it is very difficult in different seasons. During the rainy seasons it is difficult again, during the summer it is very too hot. For that reasons, this is the disadvantage. And last conclusions, if you want to be effective in your exhibitions, pleasant behavior with the audience. That means well receptions, everything. Behavior, your behavior means organizers' behavior, including the behavior of the demonstrators, the persons who are entertaining this, welcoming the audience, behavior must be pleasant. And next one, maintain a record book for the comments of the audience. Okay, that's all about the exhibitions. So listen, 9:10:50 is there. So my session is over. Now 5 minutes again I have kept for open discussions. So what I delivered, that is lecture. This is not lecture forum. Now I am converting it to lecture forum. So once I convert it into a lecture forum, it is your duty to give feedback. That means you have to ask questions to me for your clarifications so that I can get the feedback. Then only I can ensure that yes, my lecture is effective or successful. Okay. Now I am converting it to lecture forum or speech forum. In classroom situation it is called lecture forum. Now ask the questions for clarifications. Or I can ask again, you have to give the answers, response. Bolo, ask questions to me for clarifications. তাহলে ধরে নিতে হবে তোমরা কিচ্ছু বোঝোনি কিংবা সবাই ভালো করে বুঝেছো, কোনটা ধরবো আমি বলো? Any questions? Definitely question must be related to my speech today. বলো, I have kept intentionally 5 minutes for discussions. Anything? সব বুঝেছো? একটু নার্চারিং করতে হবে. So only I have discussed two mass method. What is that? What mass method was? First I discussed, bolo? No, that is the last one. First one কি discuss করলাম? Lecture. So I have discussed two mass method. One is lecture and next one is exhibitions. So can you tell me what is the difference between lecture and exhibitions? বলো, এবার আমি কোশ্চেন করছি, লেকচার এক্সিবিশন পার্থক্যটা কোথায় দেখালাম? কি পার্থক্য বুঝেছো? হোয়াট ইউ আন্ডারস্টুড? বলো তো। ভেরি গুড, ফ্রম দিস সাইড ও যেটা বলেছে, যেগুলো বলেছে বাদ দিয়ে, এনিথিং এলস? লেকচার আর এক্সিবিশনের পার্থক্যটা কি? সিমিলারিটি কি? সিমিলারিটি বলো আগে। বোথ আর মাস মেথড। The difference কি? Lecture is mainly depend upon oral presentations. Is it? It is oral presentations. And exhibitions only display. Okay, no question of talking, telling. Okay, if they ask, then only we can clarify. That is the difference between lecture and exhibitions, and these are the difference also. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so in the next class I will discuss the other group methods and next one is individual method. Okay, thank you very much.